ドジャースの大谷翔平投手は日本時間26日からヤンキースとのワールドシリーズに臨みます。自身初のプレーオフでも打率2割8分6厘、3本塁打、10打点、OPS934 とレギュラーシーズンと変わらぬ素晴らしい成績を残しています。中でも今季58発のジャッジ、54発の大谷の対決には多くの注目が集まっており、今回はその年のレギュラーシーズンで50本塁打以上の2人が対決する初の WS となり、各リーグの本塁打王対決も1956年以来68年ぶりとなっています。運命の決戦を控え、ドジャースのチームメイトであるタイラー・グラスノー投手とジョー・ケリー投手が出演した番組で、大谷についての爆笑トークが繰り広げられ、会場を笑いに包みました。その模様を日本語字幕付きでご紹介します。
Tyler, our show obviously has many diehard baseball fans that are watching. There's casual fans too, but they might be sick of me talking about this. I will say every show I've gone on, radio show, whatever, podcast over the last week, they always bring up this one question, which I'm sure you've gotten asked too, and it's about Shohei Ohtani's even iota of a chance that he could appear as a pitcher in this series. So I'll ask it to you in this way. If you were in his shoes, and I know it's hard for any of us to imagine, right? A 50-50 guy who also can pitch like an ace, and you were medically cleared, do you think that you would try and raise your hand? And also with the cachet that he has. My point was, if he goes to Doc into the org, and he's cleared, I don't know exactly where he's at with the rehab, and said, hey, I want to appear in this series at some point for an inning or two at some point, do you think that there's any chance that it could happen? I know Doc turned it down last series, but I don't know if we've gotten like the official confirmation. And even if we did, Tyler, I mean, I've covered the Dodgers when we didn't think Kershaw was going to appear in a certain series, or even Kenley going for multiple outs and all that. You don't always reveal all your cards, but what do you think of all the hype around any chance that he could pitch?
I think it would depend on, you don't know how many months he's been out. I actually don't know either. Like in terms, it's a second Tommy John, right? Second one?
Yeah.
And I think it depends on like, yeah, timing wise. And I know like the second one, especially like doctors and clearance and all that stuff is like extremely hard to get, just because the second one is so much, it's like 6 more months. I think the first one's 13 to 15 months and the second one's like 18 to 20 or whatever. And I know the second one, like I said, is just like a lot more strict. And I think if you look at it long term too, being a second Tommy John, he just signed for, what was it, like 11 years? I think when you like weigh it out in the future, it's probably not the best idea. I think what he's allowed to contribute to, or like what he has been contributing hitting, has been huge. I'm sure if you asked him, he'd be like, I'm down. But I think it's more of a collective decision. And like, I think it takes some time to get back, and you have your bullpens, you got to throw to hitters. And I think depending on feel too, it takes some time. Like you got to get into like a live hitter situation and figure it out. I don't doubt that Shohei could probably come in and shove and dominate. I just think I like the collective, cohesive decision of the group. I don't know if I'm not really in the know, but I don't know. I'd be surprised if it happened, but I'm sure he could do it.
Almost took a deep breath, like, all right, I did that, and then kind of turned the page to the playoffs. And now watching him in the playoffs, he is just, it looks like he's getting ready for a spring training game. I ride the bus with him. We take the last bus. We're the last ones at the field, on the road. There's no like crazy panic or different kind of demeanor on his face. He just knows he's that good, and it's fun to watch.
We need Shohei Ohtani to be awesome in this series. If you don't have a dog in the fight, you want to see fireworks. So Shohei Ohtani helps the Dodgers get to the World Series in his very first postseason. The splits are wild, Will. 4 for 29 with nobody on base this postseason, with runners on 8 for 13 with 9 RBIs. If you're the Yankees, how are you pitching to Shohei Ohtani?
I mean, do you go full Barry Bonds treatment, bases loaded, just throw up the 4, take your base?
But then he scores.
I mean,
that's what we saw. That's what happened with the Mets. They walked him, and then he'd find a way to get a run. He'd create chaos, and they would just keep running it after him.
Yeah, and what's interesting, too, is with nobody on, if you do pitch around him, which he wouldn't right now because he struggled for whatever reason with nobody on, he just steals second base, and it's basically a double. But, I mean, we talk about Judge and what he needs to do and what we're excited to see. This is the best baseball player on the planet. on planet Earth. There's nothing, as I watch him in the postseason and I look at his body language and his actions, and I'm looking for a crack in the armor, and there's nothing. All right. There's nothing that points to say he's pressing or he's trying to do too much. I just think he's built for the big game. You go back to, he won the title in Japan as a young guy, 2016 with the Nippon Ham Fighters, right? He hit like 380 in that series. You remember the World Baseball Classic, the big strikeout of Mike Trout to end the World Baseball Classic that's burned into all of our souls. It's just his power transcends baseball, and he is just an icon at this point, and people from all over the world are going to be tuning in and watch him play.
We're talking Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani. They're both expected to win the MVP this season. Both players led their league in home runs. Aaron Judge 58, Shohei 54. During his media session, this is very interesting. Aaron Judge was asked, besides the obvious, what do you admire about Shohei Ohtani?
Hits for average, hits for power, the speed. Doing what he did this year with the 50 stolen bases. That's it got talked about a lot, but I don't think it got talked about enough. It's just he's an impressive athlete. The best player in the game, and what an ambassador for this sport.
Now, I know these two definitely have a unique respect for each other. They both understand, what it's like to carry an offense, be the face of a franchise. Aaron Judge got his massive contract. Shohei Ohtani got his massive contract. So a lot of times, we have gone back and forth about who really is the best player in baseball. I'm on record as saying I don't think there's anyone even close to Shohei when we're talking overall skill set, just because of the fact that he can pitch at an elite level. I mean, that just puts him over the top for me. A lot of people will say, well, hey, he doesn't play defense. He doesn't play center field the way Aaron Judge does. To that, I say, you're right. Aaron Judge, I believe, is the better offensive player. I do. I think Aaron Judge is the best hitter in the game right now. And yes, he does play center field. That's why he's racked up more WAR than Shohei Ohtani, as Shohei just DH this year. So I have my opinion out there. I think Shohei is the better overall player. I think Judge is the better hitter. My question to you is, does this World Series, does that hold any weight to who you would consider is the best player in baseball?
Yeah, I mean, the old adage is, well, one guy can only bat once in every 9 players. That's how baseball works. It's a team sport. But when you get this matchup that is so star-driven and highlighted by its stars and propelled by its stars, it's hard not to, act like this series won't matter in determining who people treat as top dog. And, Judge's words were obviously kind and honest and very true, but part of me wanted him to cut like a WWE promo and be like, I'm the best, like, this is the matchup, I'm the king of New York, all that shit. Not that he would ever do that. He would never say any of that shit. Point blank, though, I'm with you. I mean, defense matters a lot to me. Francisco Lindor, my favorite player. Shohei only DH this year, and the fact that they had equal, if not Judge-favored offensive output on top of the fact that Judge plays center field means I skew more towards Judge, and we'll wait and see how Shohei pitches next year and if he can keep up the offense, all that stuff. But in the current moment, all that matters to anybody is who's going to hoist the trophy at the end. Like, MVP awards are nothing to scoff at. These guys earn theirs. They're going to be unanimous MVPs. But I think the only thing that these two guys are thinking about is who's going to win this 7-game set, because that's all that really matters in the end. So yeah, I think it'll skew public opinion. It might even skew mine, depending on what these guys do. And I can't wait for it to get going.
Yeah. So again, I think Judge had the better offensive year, but then you start to remember Shohei stole how many bags? 50 whatever bags. Like, that has to come into consideration when you're talking about this year. And I think that's what I'll kind of stay with in my answers. This year, I think this World Series will determine who had the better year. They're both going to win the MVP. They both put up crazy offensive numbers. Again, they're different. Judge, the OPS is going to be better. The WAR is going to be better. But Shohei has the first 50-50 season in baseball history. So, I think right now, I would put those guys pretty dang neck to neck. I think it's hard to say. Maybe you can put Judge a little bit above because he played center field. I'd be fine with that argument. But at the end of the year, if we're looking back and saying who owned the year of 2024, Aaron Judge or Shohei Ohtani, I think we will go back and look and say, well, who won the World Series? And this is one of those World Series that's very, very difficult to kind of handicap, to say. I mean, we're probably going to give our lean here at the end of the show. I'm still kind of searching for mine as where I think the series is going to go. But I do think that if Shohei goes off and carries the Dodgers to victory, I would look back and say Shohei had the better year in 2024, and vice versa. If Aaron Judge carries his team, goes off, I will say that about Aaron Judge. I guess, how about this little caveat here? What if Shohei has a horrible series and the Dodgers win the World Series? Like, I think they have to show you
how powerful the Dodgers are.
I think both, like, they have to play well for me to say yes, this determines who had the better year. How about that?
I don't think anyone, wants to see the two MVPs, either of them lay an egg in the World Series. Like, those are going to be the most viewed at bats. And nothing about their play from prior series shows me that they're not going to show up here. Like, I know there was a lot of discussion on Judge in the playoffs, but like, he still hit a game-tying homer off Clase A. He's still, his numbers land in a good place. And we haven't seen Judge in the World Series yet. We haven't seen Shohei in the playoffs at all prior to this. We haven't seen what Judge can bring to the table on like the biggest stage possible. So I'm very curious.
また、大谷選手が先月19日のマーリンズ戦で放った50号記念球のオークションが日本時間23日に入札期限を迎え、$360万、約5億4700万円、落札時のレートで落札され、手数料込みで$439万2000、約6億6727万円に達するという驚愕の値段が大きな話題となっています。オークションを行った会社のケン・ゴールディン CEO は23日、NHK のインタビューに応じ、
入札期限の直前に入札が相次ぎ、その後ロケットのように金額が上がっていった。オークションそのものがあらゆる意味で記録を塗り替えるものだった。
と振り返り、続けて、
このボールを持つというのは歴史の一部を手にすることだ。だからこそ野球だけでなくあらゆるスポーツで最も価値のあるボールになった。
と述べていました。また、落札した人については、
本人が現時点で個人情報を明らかにしたくないと言っている。
と説明しています。これからも大谷の活躍から目が離せません。皆様からのコメントもお待ちしております。